This is Ben Doughty for Sugar, Silk and Stretch at the Big 5 versus 5 press conference with former British heavyweight champion Scott Welsh. Good to see you again.
And you, yeah, long time, good man.
That's been a long time, but you remember me. That means something, sir. You know, yeah. Julius Francis is the last time we saw each other, and that kind of memorial thing for a Tyson fight. But I've seen you loads of times over the years, from when you were a coach, an amateur coach, and you used to come up to Repton and bring lads to spar with some of our lads. So, what particular business brings you here today, Scott, to the press conference?
WBC. So obviously I'm part of the WBC. So we work in all the areas of it. So you know, I'm the chairman of the WBC Cares side, but also involved in the Cares in the WBC. So
it's brilliant to get ex-fighters who've walked that journey on the board, on board with the WBC organisations like that. You know, because traditionally they've been accused of being the fat cats and the exploiters, the alphabet boys, the sanctioning bodies who don't care about the pugs that go through the game and get spat out. So this is very good for the actual, not just the image, but the process, I would have thought.
Listen, the only thing I know, they do great work all over the world. The Cares is now in 26 countries. They're in 200 odd countries, or 196 countries or something. So incredible.
We're here today it's a bit like boxing fan heaven just lately with the Saudi involvement, where we're seeing unprecedented things like 5 of Warren's fighters versus 5 of Eddie Hearn's fighters, and we've got a mouth-watering light heavyweight clash at the top of the bill, Beterbiev versus Bivol. Do you ever look at this era today and wish you were fighting in this era instead of the one you did compete in?
In all honesty, no, I don't. But I mean, listen, who wouldn't want to be in this day and age? You know, if we're boxers, we'll fight in any era, and you know. But this is there's a lot of money, a lot more money in the game now. I mean, you know, at top level, only at top level. Still, the low level is still the same, but hopefully that'll filter down to these young kids coming through, you know.
I mean, do you see a way to revive small ball boxing? Because you made a very good point. At the top level, it's Shangri-La lately, but it's very hard at the grassroots level.
It seems harder than ever at grassroots level now, you know. So I don't know whether it's because the big money gets taken out of the game. Once they earn it, they take it out of the game rather than put it back in the game, you know. So I don't know. Hopefully that this is the start of a lot more shows going on in the UK again. I mean, up till lockdown, we had a lot of shows. We haven't really got back on the lower ends of the boxing since lockdown. So hopefully this will start it all coming back down again, you know.
How's your son Tommy getting on for his career?
Yeah, he's doing fine. He's 13-0, so we're just waiting now to see what's about. Obviously, Babbage is on the cards, you know, so let's see. I mean, it's a hell of a fight. It's a tough fight, so make no mistakes. Very, very tough fight. So
thinking about it, Bridgerweight may have been something that might have appealed to you. Is that something you
that's what we're in now. Yeah, I mean, I would have done Bridger all day long. Yeah, as well as heavyweight. You know, I think you can switch between the two. That's the nice thing, is you can switch between the two. You know.
Yeah. You won't thank me for reminding you of this if you even remember it, but I do remember when you fought Henry Akinwande for the WBO heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Frank Warren at the time was quite damning of your efforts, and you said, well, it's just a setback, but I still want to be the first white world heavyweight champion since, I believe it would have been Harry Kutsia, something like that. But he said it's just a pigment.
The British, no. The last Brit was in 1897.
It was Bob Fitzsimmons at the time.
That's right. So that was the last. Yeah.
And that was your premise.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we fought for a world title, which was amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't get myself in the position to fight again for it. So. You know, that was it. I had one chance, and unfortunately, I come second. So.
And these are the breaks, you know. Like you say, at least you were competing, Scott, at the highest level, and also you're in fine nick today. Do more people tend to recognise you from Snatch than boxing? Or?
I think they do.
Yeah,
they do. You know, 20 years of boxing or 5 minutes of Snatch.
Just quickly, who do you fancy for the main event, which is Bivol versus Beterbiev?
I'm going to sit on the fence for that one because they're both great fighters. One's a boxer, one's more of a fighter. I think it's going to be a hell of a fight.
And finally, you know what I'm going to say next, the big one, May the 18th, Fury versus Usyk. You're leaning towards?
I have to lean towards Fury. He's the bigger, better man as far as I'm concerned. Only because of the size and the length of his arms and the stuff that he does in that ring. And he's an amazing guy. I've done the pads with him, and he's very hard to hit, even on the pads. So
it's funny. One of my co-anchors on this channel is Michael Asilkalajade, who boxed Tommy Hearns back in the day, fought Frank Tate for 15 rounds with Frank Tate. He's got this theory that size is well overrated, and he says size will not be a factor in this fight. But one thing is clear is a lot of the boxing world disagrees with him, including Scott Welsh.
Well, purely because of the stuff that Fury does. I mean, if we're talking just difference in height, and I can understand that, but we're not talking just difference in height. We're talking the length of arms. We're talking the boxing brain. We're talking an amazing heavyweight for his era. In Tyson Fury.
You heard it here first. Scott, thanks very much for making yourself available today, and I hope you have a good afternoon, sir.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.